Alexa, off. Hello and welcome to my Monday motivation. My name is Janelle Lene and I am your host today. Today I want to talk about excuses and the list of excuses that you are making in your life for why you can't do things. I hear so many excuses all day, every day. I am a coach. I own a coaching business where I listen to people come up with 1,000 reasons why they can't do things. No, but for real, the excuses go on and on. I don't have time. How many times have you heard yourself say, I don't have time? Oh, I just haven't gone to that book. I haven't had time. Oh, I haven't been able to, go on a run. I haven't been able to work out. I haven't had the time. Oh, I haven't been able to reach out to that friend. I just haven't had time. I've just been so busy. You wanna know how often people say, I'm so busy. Yeah, well, we're all busy. We're all busy. The whole world is busy. That's what we do. But you make time for the things that matter. So the next time you hear yourself say, I don't have time, why don't you try rewording it and saying, I didn't make the time? Because that's what it's about. You know how many times people say like, gosh, I haven't really had time to work out this week, or I haven't really had time to go to a grocery store and get stuff, or I haven't had time to, read that mindset module you sent me. I send people free mindset modules all the time to help them work on their mindset, but people just don't have time. But it's the weirdest thing because so often they have time for The Bachelor. I think every woman is so caught up on The Bachelor. She always knows who's on the show, each guy, each girl, blah, blah, blah. Or Instagram. People seem to have no problem making time for Instagram. It's crazy. Some people are spending over an hour to 2 hours a day on social media, scrolling, watching stories, probably zooming in on different girls and thinking, oh, I wish I looked more like her. So you have time for all these things like social media and The Bachelor. Is that helping your body get any better? Is that helping your mind get any better? Is that helping up-level your life? I don't know. I'm not saying any of those things are bad in and of itself, but if you're making excuses all the time about why you can't do things, why you don't have time for relationships and friendships, why you don't have time for journaling or reading, why you don't have time for eating healthy or working out, like self-care activities that would actually take you to the next level, I think it's time for you to look at what you're doing with your time. In fact, if you have an iPhone, you can actually go and look on your iPhone to see how much time you've spent on Instagram. It's incredible. You'll be amazed how much time you spent on Instagram. If you look at that and you see that you spent 7 hours on Instagram this week, start to think about that to yourself. 7 hours on Instagram? But you didn't have time for all those other things. So the next time you hear yourself say, I don't have time, why don't you try saying, I didn't make the time? See how that sounds. Okay, here's another excuse. I don't have the money. I don't have the money. I can't afford a gym membership. I can't afford an app that teaches me how to work out at home. I can't afford a personal development conference. I can't afford a coach. I can't afford this. I can't afford that. You want to know how many client calls I've been on where they can't afford to have me as a coach, but a month later, they're in Europe and in France and in Italy and wearing all the best clothing, eating all the best food, drinking all the best wine. It's not that you didn't have the money. You just put your money where your mouth is, right? So the things that matter to you is where you're gonna put your money. Look at your bank statement and you'll see what matters to you with your money. It might be coffee, it might be alcohol, it might be shopping. Like, oh, I just keep getting targeted on Instagram by these really cute clothing companies. So I just keep buying clothing. That's why I don't have money. But then you're wondering why you haven't invested in yourself, in your body or in your nutrition. And this isn't about me. This is about looking at your bank and looking at your money and saying, where is my money going? If I'm telling everyone I don't have enough money to do something, I can't afford it, it's too much money. We're usually saying that about something like school or education or investing in a coach or investing in a therapist or investing in yourself in any way, a personal development conference, investing in a course. Like because those things are generally a little bit more upfront, right? That might be like $1,000 up front, might be $2,000 or $3,000 up front. There's a larger lump sum. I mean, college is way more than that, obviously. There's a larger lump sum that you have to pay at the beginning, so it's like way scarier. But $5 lattes every day, every single day, how much money is that even? Like, say you get we'll just say even like 5 times a week, right? Not even every single day, just like almost the days. That's $25 a week. So that's $100 a month. Add that over the course of the year, over $1,000 just for your coffee. That's just one of your little habits, right? So look at where your money's going. If you say I can't afford it, maybe that's true. I'm not saying that like that's never true. But generally, if you want something bad enough, you make the money for it. Just like that trip, right? Like I love travel, and I'm not saying don't travel, but if you're telling people that you can't afford to go back to school, or you're telling people you can't afford to buy a home, or you can't afford to like move to a new city because it's too expensive to move, why don't you try looking at like where your travel's going and where your like your shopping, like all these like little tiny instant gratifications that are helping you feel better about your life for like 2 minutes. But then after all that happens, you go right back to your regular life that you still don't like. So if you're unhappy with your life, stop making excuses about why you can't do things and why you're so busy, and stop saying you don't have the money to make the changes you need to make. Oh, and then here's the next thing. Number 3, playing dumb. A lot of people like to play dumb. And maybe you even believe that you're not smart enough to figure things out. But here's the thing. You are smart enough to figure things out. You can find a workout plan online for free any day of the week. So if everything's free for your workouts, why is it so hard to get there? You can find gym memberships for like $9.99 a month. I promise you. So what's the problem of getting there? That's not a money thing. That's like practically free. And then same with nutrition, right? Like, oh, I can't figure out, how do you meal prep? I'm so confused. I don't get it. There's free resources all over the internet that'll teach you macro counting, and they'll teach you how to understand fats and proteins and carbs and understand how to nourish your body. And let's be honest, you probably know a lot of the stuff that's good for you and that's bad for you. So why do you keep eating potato chips every night? Why do you keep binge eating every night after the end of a perfect day of eating? Because you're starving and you're probably not letting yourself have enough stuff throughout the day. Like you're not giving yourself that balance, right? Anyway, I want to rant. There is free education everywhere. So there's literally no excuses as to why you can't figure things out. So don't play dumb, girlfriend. You can figure it out. Trust yourself. Literally, try this thing where you trust yourself to figure it out instead of thinking that you always have to get someone else's approval or opinion, or like you can't figure it out. Otherwise, like I guarantee you can figure this stuff out on your own. You really can. It's not as hard as everyone makes it out to be. It's actually quite simple. So it's important that you take the time to figure out, what do you really want in life? Stop and ask yourself that. What do you really want out of your life? Like if the sky is the limit and you can do whatever you want, why are you not doing the things that you want to do? What are the excuses that are getting in the way? What are the money excuses that are getting in the way? What are the areas that you're playing dumb? Like, I don't know, I can't figure it out. It's too confusing. No, you're smart. You've got this. Trust yourself. You can figure it out. You can put in the time, you can put in the effort. You are strong enough, you are smart enough, you are capable enough of doing whatever it is that you want to do. And I'm sick of you making excuses about why you can't do things. Why don't you start thinking about all the reasons why you could move to a new city? Why don't you start thinking about all the reasons why you could break up with your boyfriend that you don't want to be with? Why don't you start thinking of all the reasons you could work out and eat healthy? Why don't you start thinking of all the reasons you could start to believe in yourself? Start to see your self-worth. That's where it all stems from. Your belief of, am I worthy? And I'm here to tell you, you are worthy. And if you believe that you are worthy, you'll stop making excuses. And you'll do the things you actually really want to do instead of avoiding the things that you want to do. Just because they make you uncomfortable. Like, I get it. New things make you so uncomfortable. New things make me so uncomfortable. It's okay. It's okay to be uncomfortable. You know what's not okay? To stay in the comfort zone. To keep living your life the exact same way you've always lived it because you've just given up. It's time for you to pursue your purpose. Maybe you don't know what your purpose is. That's okay too. I didn't know what my purpose was for the longest time. I wasn't born with it. I didn't just wake up with all this drive and all this I know that I want to change lives and be an empowering coach for women. I didn't know that for the longest time. But it's important to take time to ask yourself, what do I want out of my life? And start to journal some ideas down. Start jotting ideas about what are some things you like to do? What are some things you're passionate about? Instead of just pretending I'm 27. Life has already passed me by. I'm too old. I'm an old maid. Or, you know what else? If you're waiting on a man to get started on life. Oh, yes, I said it. Because you want to know what? A lot of people do that. I was one of them. For the longest time, I was like, well, I don't want to move to a new city because I want to wait till I meet my guy and then I can move to a new city. Or I don't want to change careers because it's a little scary. So maybe I'll make sure I have I'm married, so I have my husband's income, and then I could start a new career because then I could start from the bottom and make less money, but I'd have the financial backing of my husband, make sure that I had safety at all times. Safety and security. Where does that get you? Waiting around to make moves on your life. Waiting to take adventures. No! You don't need to wait around for a man. You don't need to wait around for someone to start living your best life. In fact, you will attract the right person when you begin living your best life. So in summary, stop making excuses, stop playing dumb, stop saying you don't have enough time, stop saying you don't have enough money to do anything that you want to do. If you want to do something, do it. Or start making plans to do it, start saving the money that you need. Just start. That's all I can say. Literally just start something. And if you don't know, if you're well, I don't even know what to start. I wish I could start, but I don't know what to start. That's cool. Then I think the first place you could start is probably listening to podcasts, going to personal development conferences, hiring a coach, starting to journal, starting to read books. Start to understand what you love. Write down all of your ideas and be what is my purpose? Don't numb it. Don't ignore it. It's time to think about it. It's okay if you don't know today. It's okay if you don't find out tomorrow. It's okay if it takes you a few years, maybe even 5, 6, 7 years, till you figure out what you really want to do or what you feel your true purpose is here on earth. But I guarantee you are called to be here for a purpose. You have a purpose. I know you do. You are not worthless. You're not here on accident on this earth. So take time to figure out what your purpose is if you don't know yet. And that's okay if you don't know. You'll figure it out. Trust yourself to figure it out. Trust yourself that you are smart enough to figure it out. And stop making excuses. Make the time for things that matter to you. And it is time to go live your best life. Hey, Alexa, on. You got this, girl. Let's go.